Hello everyone, welcome back to Indo Archaeology Research YouTube channel. Last week we talked about what is archaeology and about the basic concepts of archaeology. This week we have come up with yet another informative video on the various fields of archaeology. First, let's have a recap of last week's video and then start with the various fields of archaeology. Introduction. Archaeology is defined as scientific study of material remains of past human life and activities. These include human artifacts from the very earliest stone tools to the man-made objects that are buried or thrown away in the present day. Archaeological investigations are a principal source of modern knowledge of prehistoric, ancient and extinct cultures. The field emerged as an academic discipline in the late 19th century, following centuries of haphazard antiquarian collecting. To get more info about what is archaeology, its definition, history, and development of archaeology as a field in the world and India, and key concepts related to archaeology, do watch our last video. Now, let's look at the fields of archaeology. Since the emergence of archaeology as an academic field, various subfields have developed throughout the world. Like most fields of subject, these archaeological subdisciplines typically characterized by a focus on a specific method or type of material, geographical or chronological focus, or other thematic concern. These include prehistoric archaeology, historical archaeology, field archaeology, maritime archaeology, ethnoarchaeology, environmental archaeology, bioarchaeology, experimental archaeology, settlement archaeology, archaeometry, digital archaeology, aerial archaeology, public archaeology, and museum and cultural heritage studies. Certain civilizations have attracted so much attention that their study has been specifically named. These subdisciplines include Assyriology, Indology, classical archaeology, Egyptology, Phoenician Punic archaeology, and Sinology. So, first we come to prehistoric archaeology. Now let's look at what is prehistoric archaeology. Prehistoric archaeology is a subfield of archaeology that deals specifically with the remains of societies, civilizations, and other materials that existed before written systems and historical records. Often, this field focuses on periods such as the Stone Age, Bronze Age, and Iron Age, but it also includes periods such as the Neolithic Age. Prehistoric archaeological research reflects the cultural interests of contemporary societies by providing an interpretation of the time between economic growth and political stability. Let's look at what is historical archaeology. Historical archaeology is a form of archaeology dealing with places, things, and issues from the past or present when written records and oral traditions can inform and contextualize cultural material. These records can both complement and conflict with the archaeological evidence found at a particular site. Studies focus on literate, historical period societies as opposed to non literate prehistoric societies. While they may not have generated the records, the lives of people for whom there was little need for written records, such as the working class, slaves, indentured laborers, and children, but who live in the historical period, can also be the subject of study. The sites are found on land and underwater. Now, let's look at what is Indology. Indology, also known as South Asian Studies, is the academic study of the history and cultures, languages, and literature of the Indian subcontinent and as such is a subset of Asian studies. Classical Indology majorly includes the linguistic studies of Sanskrit literature, Pali and Tamil literature, as well as study of dharmic religions like Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, etc. Some of the regional specializations under South Asian studies include Bengali studies, study of culture and languages of Bengal, Dravidology, study of Dravidian languages of southern India, Tamil studies, Pakistan studies, Sindhology, the study of the historical Sindh region, and the study of Indian art and architecture, iconography, and epigraphy also fall under the umbrella of Indology. Some scholars distinguish classical Indology from modern Indology, the former more focused on Sanskrit, Tamil, and other ancient language sources, the latter on contemporary India, its politics, and sociology. Now, in this slide, we are going to see what is field archaeology and maritime archaeology. Field archaeology is a component of archaeology in which archaeologists work on the site of excavations in the field as opposed to in a more sterile setting such as a lab, university, or museum. Field archaeologists survey potential sites and then work to reveal the sites using scientific methods that include measuring, documenting, drawing, and photographing artifacts in situ. Later, after a site has been thoroughly explored, those artifacts can be moved or often taken for a lab for further study. Next, we have the maritime archaeology. It is the study of past human cultures with an emphasis on how humans interacted with the world's oceans, lakes, and river systems. It is used to interpret the material remains of these cultures, including ships and small craft, their crews and cargoes, and their shore based facilities. While this archaeology is best known for its focus on shipwrecks, it is really the study of everything connected to seafaring. It is concerned with all aspects of maritime culture, including technological, social, economic, political, and religious topics. Next, we move to environmental archaeology. Environmental archaeology is a subfield of archaeology which emerged in 1970s and is the science of reconstructing the relationships between past societies and environments they lived in. Environmental archaeology is commonly divided into three subfields, that is archaeobotany, zooarchaeology, and geoarchaeology. Let's look at the first subfield, archaeobotany. Archaeobotany or paleoethnobotany is the study of past human plant interactions through the recovery and analysis of ancient plant remains. It involves the investigation of both ancient environments and human activities related to those environments, as well as an understanding of how the two co evolved. Plant remains recovered from ancient sediments within the landscape or at archaeological sites serve as the primary evidence for various research avenues within paleoethnobotany, such as the origins of plant domestication, the development of agriculture, paleoenvironmental reconstructions, subsistence strategies, paleodiets, economic structures, and more. Next, we come to the second subfield, archaeozoology or zooarchaeology. Zooarchaeology, which is sometimes called archaeozoology, also known as faunal analysis, is a branch of archaeology that studies remains of animals from archaeological sites. Faunal remains are the items left behind when an animal dies. These include bones, shells, hair, scales, hide, proteins, and DNA. Of these items, bones and shells are the ones that occur most frequently at archaeological sites where faunal remains can be found. Zooarchaeology serves as a hybrid discipline combining the studies of archaeology and zoology, which are the study of past human culture and the study of animals respectively. Therefore, zooarchaeologists may also be anthropologists paleontologist, archaeologist, zoologist, ecologist, etc. However, the main focus of zooarchaeology is to not only find remnants of past animals, but to identify and understand how humans and their environment coexisted. Next, we come to the last subfield, geoarchaeology. Geoarchaeology is a multidisciplinary approach which uses the techniques and subject matter of geography, geology, geophysics, and other earth sciences to examine topics which inform archaeological knowledge and thought. Geoarchaeologists study the natural physical processes that affect archaeological sites, such as geomorphology, the formation of sites through geological processes, and the effects on buried sites and artifacts post deposition. Geoarchaeologists' work frequently involves studying soil and sediments as well as other geographical concepts to contribute an archaeological study. They may also use computer cartography, geographic information system (GIS), and digital elevation models in combination with disciplines from human and social sciences and earth sciences. Next, we come to bioarchaeology. So, bioarchaeology focuses on the scientific investigation of biological remains associated with archaeological sites. As such, bioarchaeology comprises a diverse range of disciplines, including bioanthropology, that is the study of human remains, zooarchaeology, that is the study of non human animal remains, archaeobotany, that is the study of plant remains, molecular biology, and taphonomy. Taphonomy, which literally means the laws of burial, it itself a diverse discipline that studies the processes that have disturbed, damaged, or modified remains between the moment of death or deposition and subsequent recovery to assist in discriminating between natural processes and changes induced by human behavior. Bioarchaeologists study the organic remains from archaeological sites to address questions about evolution, past human activities, subsistence, health, nutrition, and how humans have interacted with or modified their natural environments. Bioarchaeological research has strong links with other archaeological disciplines such as the study of associated cultural remains and the dating of the archaeological record. As every discipline of archaeology, the ultimate goal is gaining a better understanding of past societies. Next, we have experimental archaeology. Experimental archaeology is one of the very practical methods of archaeological interpretation. It is a living analytical process used to recreate aspects in part or in whole of ancient societies in order to test hypotheses or propose interpretations and assumptions about that society. Experimental archaeology has two distinct variants. The first is called historical reenactment, and it is an artificial recreation of a past culture or a part of it and the testing of all of the many theories about building, construction, transport systems, weapons, metals, ceramics, use of fire, and so on. The second variant is known as living history and it requires archaeologists, usually coupled with anthropologists, to find a similar modern group of people living in and under the same types of conditions of the ancient target group and to live with, or at the very least, to observe and study that group in order to determine the hows, whats, and whys that are unstated in the archaeological record. Next, we come to the fields of settlement archaeology and archaeometry. Let's look at what is settlement archaeology. Settlement archaeology is a branch of modern archaeology. It investigates former settlements and deserted areas, forms of housing and settlements, and the prehistoric settlement of entire regions. For this purpose, the forms, functions, and developments of individual habitats and settlement systems are explored by the means of archaeological surveys and excavations. Settlement archaeology has developed in close cooperation with settlement history and settlement geography. Settlement sequences of several centuries or millennia are explored in individual areas. Changes and consistent elements can be studied and compared with other research settlements. Next, we come to archaeometry. Archaeometry, also known as archaeological science, consists of the application of scientific techniques to the analysis of archaeological materials and sites. It is related to methodologies of archaeology. Archaeological science can be divided into the following areas: physical and chemical dating methods, which provide archaeologists with absolute and relative chronologies, artifact studies, environmental approaches, which provide information on past landscape, climate, flora and fauna, as well as the diet, nutrition, health, and pathology of people. Mathematical methods for data treatment, including computer based methods, remote sensing and geophysical survey techniques for buried features, conservation sciences involving the study of decay processes, and the development of new methods of conservation. Techniques such as lithic analysis, archaeometallurgy, paleoethnobotany, palynology, and zooarchaeology also form subdisciplines of archaeological sciences. Let's see what is public archaeology. Public archaeology or community archaeology is the practice of presenting archaeological data and interpretations of that data to the public. It seeks to engage the interest of members of the public, passing along with archaeologists what they have learned by way of books, pamphlets, museum displays, lectures, television programs, internet websites, and excavations which are open to the visitors. Now we come to aerial archaeology. Aerial archaeology uses photographs and other kinds of image acquisition in archaeological field research. It involves taking photographs of the land from above, examining them for pertinent information, interpreting the images seen there, and making the resulting data available in a variety of forms to develop archaeological knowledge about past people and the conservation of archaeological sites and landscapes. Now we come to the last field of archaeology discussed here: museum and cultural heritage studies. This field examines how meaning is constructed in museums and heritage sites. The methods for their protection, conservation, and preservation are important aspects of this field. Museums collect and preserve our objects and materials of religions, cultural, and historical value. They are a good source of entertainment. These museums help to preserve and promote our cultural heritage. Museums are a storehouse of old artifacts, sculptures, objects, history, etc. Heritage sites assist in providing the details of environment and educational value of the place. Some historical monuments with inscriptions provide us with the detail about the past language and their mode of communication. Monuments maintain a sense of permanency and heritage of the city and make it more valuable for the country. With this, we have come to an end of the second video here. In this video, we went through the various fields of archaeology and their nature. So do like, comment on the video and subscribe to the channel for more of such informational videos. Next week, Indo archaeology research is going to be back with an exciting video on a much less explored topic. So do subscribe. Thank you.